Let us meet our fates with good humor, trusting to the will of the gods. If we are marked for victory, then we shall celebrate in the same vein. To arms!
I've seen graveyard horrors 3 days dead, with more about them than you!
After the defeat at Thermopylae against the legendary 300 and the crushing defeat of the Persian fleet at Salamis, Xerxes returned to Persia. The goal of the Persian campaign had not yet been achieved: the destruction of Athens. He left the overall command of the still intact Persian army to one of his oldest and most capable generals. Mardonios led the very first Persian campaign 10 years ago, when his fleet was wrecked at sea. In 479 BC, after a long winter in Greece, he marches towards Athens with 100,000 Persian fighters. Meanwhile, the Greeks gathered at the Isthmus of Corinth and called for general mobilization. The Greeks formed 50,000 hoplites and marched from the Isthmus of Corinth not towards the Persian general Mardonios, who was standing near Athens, but into his rear. Mardonios found himself cut off from his logistics and retreated towards Thebes to his allies. At Plataai in 479 BC, the Greeks confronted the Persian force. The Greeks, led by Aristides of Athens and the Spartiate Pausanias, took up positions on a chain of hills on the southern bank of the Asopos, several kilometers north of the destroyed Plataai. The armies within sight lined up for battle for days, without either side making the first move. On the right wing of the Greek battle line, the traditional striking wing of a phalanx, stood the Spartans and Tegeans. Mardonios placed the Persian contingent opposite them.
If we are victorious and live, I will sacrifice to Zeus and Ares for their favor and help in our defense. But we mortals must do our parts as well. Fight with honor, and all will be well.
Who's for a drink? This time, not in my unit, Persian!
In the middle of the phalanx on the Greek side stood Corinth and a few smaller polis. Against them the Medes. This was followed by smaller Peloponnesian polis, which the Bactrians faced.
If we are victorious and live, I will sacrifice to Zeus and Ares for their favor and help in our defense. But we mortals must do our parts as well. Fight with honor, and all will be well.
I've seen graveyard horrors 3 days dead, with more about them than you!
The Indian contingent of the Persians was mainly confronted with polis from Euboea. The Sakin were positioned opposite smaller polis from western and southern Greece.
Poets and philosophers! Greeks are not fit for war. Even the Spartans no longer merit the reputations of their ancestors. We will give these Greeks something to think on. Let them think on their deaths and their defeat at our hands.
Sword work soon, men!
Finally, on the left wing, the Athenians under Aristides faced the Greek hoplites on the Persian side and the Macedonians. This disposition was only partially preserved in the later
If
battle.
we are victorious and live, I will sacrifice to Zeus and Ares for their favor and help in our defense. But we mortals must do our parts as well. Fight with honor, and all will be well.
Fight as one! Look to your brothers! Aid them in battle! Give no quarter, and let there be no weakness in the line! Hold strong and true, and we shall defend this position!
I will kill any man who shows fear or mercy!
Since an advance on the Persian position through the plain of Isopos would have exposed the flanks of the phalanx of the vastly superior Persian cavalry, they hesitated for 11 days to go on the offensive. Persian cavalry units had been attacking the Greek supply lines since the 8th day. There was trench warfare.
Nice cheese and some wine. That's what I want. Do you ever stop thinking about your stomach?
Stand up straight! You are warriors, not sacks of barley! Any chance of rain, do you think?
Difficult to say, sir.
Don't worry! Fight!
I will have order! Keep your spacing!
The numerically superior Persian infantry belonged to the heavy Sparabara formation, which, however, was still much lighter than the Greek phalanx. The Persian defensive weapon was a large basket shield, and they used short spears. In contrast, the hoplites were armored in bronze, with a bronze-studded shield and a long spear.
Hold fire, you idiots, until you have a good target!
Prepare to fire!
The Athenian contingent on the left wing carried out seemingly idiosyncratic maneuvers during the night. In the morning, it was unable to come to the aid of the Spartans attacked on the right wing, but instead found itself in battles with the Persian Greek phalanx.
If we are victorious and live, I will sacrifice to Zeus and Ares for their favor and help in our defense. But we mortals must do our parts as well. Fight with honor, and all will be well.
I've seen great wars 3 days dead, with more about them than you.
Hold on tight, lads!
The Peloponnesians on the right wing, initially harassed by cavalry and arrow fire, finally launched an assault that pushed back the Persian ranks. The battle was fierce and protracted, but the Greeks, Spartans, and Tegeans continued to advance into the Persian lines and killed as many Persians as you could. The Persians tried to break the Greeks' spears by holding them, but the Greeks responded by switching to swords to continue killing the Persians. Mardonios was present at the scene, riding a white horse and surrounded by a bodyguard of 1,000 men. While he stayed, the Persians held their ground. However, the Spartans approached Mardonios, and a Spartan soldier named Aramnestus killed him by throwing a stone to the head, a manner of death that had been predicted to Mardonios by an oracle. The Persian army, without a commander at the head, had no choice but to flee. Only a few fought to the last. The rest fled back to Persia, where they were finally defeated at the Battle of Mycale on the coast of Asia Minor. Mardonios, 3 sons of Darius, and many members of the Persian elite fell in battle. The remaining Persian troops fled. Artabaxos was initially able to lead his contingent, with which he had not previously taken part in the fight, towards Thessaly. The defensive battle of the European Greeks ended with the Greek victories at Salamis, Plataai, and Mycale. No Persian army ever crossed into Europe again.